Hey Gurleen, welcome to Just Like That.
Hi, Sahil. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your show.
Pleasure, pleasure. So happy that you are with us today. So Gurleen, you're an organization psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And doing a lot of interesting work in this space of
Mm-hmm.
being irresistible.
Yep.
And it sounds so interesting, right? Because being irresistible, जब कोई इंसान सुनता है, so it always takes you to a lover equation. It takes you to
Yeah.
personal life. It takes you to chemistry. And you're doing it in an organizational context. Of organizational context, में being irresistible, the first thing that comes to mind is posh. So how do you really draw that line? What is the space that you're operating in? What is the
Yeah.
model? How is it playing out?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm intrigued to know more.
So I'm really curious to know, how did you relate it to Bosch?
No, I didn't really relate it to posh,
Uh-huh.
but I just said the first thing that came to my mind was, ठीक है, office जाते हैं
Uh-huh.
काम करने,
Yeah.
right? And in the process of working together, colleagues become friends,
Right.
but then you don't really cross the line.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Now, being irresistible or being perceived as irresistible,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying means crossing the line, but what
Yeah.
I'm just saying is it is the area of the gray.
Yeah. 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 Got it.
Because
Got
it's
it.
about feelings manifesting themselves,
Mm-hmm.
which may not necessarily be two-sided.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we look at the dictionary meaning of irresistible, it is something, it can be a person, it can be an object, something which is attractive, right? So when it comes to individuals, yes, attraction, okay, ek to tumhara physical attraction ho gaya. So one irresistible person is somebody who is happy with himself or herself, somebody who is living his or her purpose. Although I have like a different definition of purpose. I don't think it exists in a very conventional way. We can talk about that sometime later. But having said that, an irresistible person is somebody who is happy and aligned with his or her purpose. So that is from an individual perspective. Now, if you move a little deeper and if you connect it to organizational context, what does it mean? So when I say building irresistible organizational cultures, what I mean is that employees are so happy that they start their days feeling excited and they end their days feeling accomplished, which means they are happy and they are living their purpose. So when you look at it in an organizational context, then it becomes more meaningful, because then you collectively are an irresistible organization, right? So that is a short answer to your question.
Sure. But isn't that somewhere diluting the word irresistible? Because if you look at it,
Mhm.
what are we really saying, right? We're saying that you're trying to link happiness to purpose, to excitement, to collective achieving.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, which may be a goal, it may be a project, it may be anything else.
yeah,
But irresistible is, to my mind at least, it's about wanting to achieve something or be with someone or a project or a goal. You can find an object irresistible, you can find a human being irresistible, you could find a purpose irresistible, whatever it may be, right?
yeah,
But ultimately, being irresistible is about saying, bus or bardasht nahi ho raha, right? If I may just lose very colloquial Hindi.
okay.
Now, how does that get linked to a purpose or get linked to doing work together or organization and culture? Because see, culture at the end of the day is a very fuzzy word, right?
Yeah,
Within the HR community, everyone says, oh, culture, culture, culture. But you ask an analyst on the job floor or on the shop floor, the guy is going to say, kya culture? Yeah, mera boss to मेरे को गाली देता है दिन में 10 बारी.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So for him, that is culture. So
yeah.
culture then becomes the way the person interacts with his immediate co-workers and his or her boss.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, culture
So
is like, yeah,
how do you make how do you make irresistibility consistent across the board?
yeah, yeah. So that's a good question. So like I said, when you look at the dictionary meaning of irresistible, it means attractive, right? So culture can be attractive as well. So when the culture is attractive, it is actually working like a magnet. It is pulling people who are aligned to the values of the organization. And when you say कि एक shop floor में एक person बोल सकता है, hey, मेरा manager तो हमेशा मुझे डंडे देता है, right? So जब वो बोल रहा है कि manager डंडे देता है, that means that organizational culture is not irresistible, it's not attractive, right? And उसमें क्या होता है कि if we look at it culture, what is it? It is a collective personality of an organization. And who builds it? It actually, it's the leadership team, it's the management team, it's the managers who build it. They have the values, they have their own, organization's personality. And that's a collective, so to say, an identity of the organization, the whole organization, and that is what binds people together. And hence it becomes an attractive, it becomes an irresistible organizational culture where there are, psychologically safe spaces, people can share their opinions freely. जैसे आपने बोला कि वो person डरता है अपने manager से. So in an irresistible organization culture, there is nothing called fear. So even if an employee has made a mistake, he can freely share his areas of concern or weaknesses or mistakes that he's made in the tenure with their managers openly, so that they can solve the issue rather than blaming each other or living in denial that ये तो हमारे साथ होता ही नहीं है, and we are such a great organization, and we put it on LinkedIn that, oh wow, we are simply great places to work. But
Got it.
yeah,
Got it.
so yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So, Gurleen, what is the opposite of irresistible?
Opposite of irresistible would be irresistible is मतलब रहा नहीं जा रहा है, मतलब रहा नहीं जा रहा है, right? Opposite of irresistible would be where you don't want to go.
रहा जा रहा है.
Where you don't want to go. Opposite of irresistible.
Got it.
Yeah.
नहीं, irresistible is रहा नहीं जा रहा.
Yeah.
So irresistible is रहा जा रहा है. Let's put it very simple, right? एकदम layman language.
But इसके अंदर भी language उसका भी अगर आप देखोगे रहा नहीं जा रहा, तो it's like irresistible मतलब ऐसा है कि wow, this food is so good that रहा ही नहीं जा रहा, मैं तो मतलब I'm just dying to taste it, right? And दूसरा है कि हाँ ठीक है, मतलब चल रहा है types, कुछ इतनी bonding नहीं है, इतना attractive नहीं है.
Correct. So every culture, Gurleen, would obviously have subcultures, right? In every organization, you have subcultures.
Yep.
Now, how do you really look at a subculture, which is exactly what you're saying, irresistible, and another subculture which is saying, हाँ ठीक है, मन नहीं कर रहा है, मजा नहीं आ रहा है, कर रहे हैं क्योंकि करना पड़ रहा है, EMI है, काम कर रहे हैं, whatever. So how do you find that common thread, the common fabric across the organization? How do you build that?
So interesting question. So again, it really depends on the organization and it depends on the people as well. Or iske andar bhi there is no like, I can't give you like one specific answer. There is no one size fits all answer to your question. But then if you look at organizations from subcultures point of view, then every team has a different culture, and it totally depends on the manager or the leader of that team. What is his or her personality, his management style, his or her values, right? So if it is aligned to the whole purpose of the organization, then amazing. And if it is not, then the consultants or somebody can diagnose the problem and see that where is this team going wrong? Is it a manager issue? Is it a role problem? Is it because of the team members? What is it that people are not happy with? So irresistible kyun nahi ho raha hai? There must be some reason for sure. So I think it is all about finding those reasons and making little bit of tweaks in the system. And that is how you build irresistible organizational cultures collectively, including the subcultures.
Very beautifully put. Very nice. Very nice. This is the last piece that has really intrigued me a lot, Gurleen, is to say, you spoke about the why, you spoke about the how of building irresistible cultures. But if you were to ask me, and if I want to draw an analogy, right? Many of us believe in God, right? Many of us do idol worship because it is our way of saying, okay, there is an idol. If I see the idol, I can see God in that idol, and therefore it's easy to relate. It's easy to connect. It's easy to focus. It's easy to meditate, so on and so forth. Now, to my mind, and again, maybe it's my own mindset, but irresistibility is very easy to connect to human beings because we experience it. You experience emotions, you experience feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you connect irresistibility to an organization that is a non-living entity? Are you trying to tell me it is still made up of people, or is there a different dimension to view it?
Interesting. So again, no, there is no one answer. So again, when we look at an organization, I don't think that it's a non-living entity. What is an organization? Organization is a set of people. Like you don't call a building an organization, right? An empty building an organization. It's an organization when people are working in it. So it's like you said, it's all about people at the end of the day. It is all about relationships. And especially after COVID scenario and this lockdown, we have realized that how important it is for all of us to be cohesive, to have, informal relationships and communicate with each other. So that is really important. Communication between employees, between people, human to human touch is really important. When I say touch, I don't mean like physical touch, but just,
Get it?
psychological, just talking to each other really like helps. And I don't think it's non-living entity at all, you know.
No, no,
चलते फिरते
absolutely. Wonderful.
लोग हैं हम. Yeah.
Correct. So on this
Yeah.
living moment, thank you so much, Gurleen, for joining us on Just Like That.
Just like that. I loved it. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to many more conversations like that in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks a ton.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. See you.
See you.